Welcome back to Tracy and Gracie Becoming. This is episode number 25, and it's probably going to sound a little different, maybe a little echoey.
And look a lot a bit different for those of you who watch us.
Yeah, we are in Texas.
Yeah, San Antonio.
Y'all.
Exactly. I've got again, for those of you that are watching, I've got my cowgirl boots on. We are headed out to dinner after we record this episode, so...
Yeah. We chose this title because we felt like we're coming off of a sprint of just this culmination of so many things going on. Have talked about the retreat. It's been a huge growth year, and now we're getting ready to go into 2024. And so we decided, in celebration of your birthday, in celebration of a successful retreat, that we would come recharge in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
So here we are recording our podcast from our little Airbnb. Right outside our window is the beautiful San Antonio skyline. Directly outside of our window is the Tower of Americas. And I thought that it was San Antonio's silly little
Play
version
on the Space Needle.
That's what I thought.
It looks like it.
It looks like the Space Needle.
Yeah.
Which I'm from Washington, so I have a love for the Space Needle. But I Googled which observation tower is taller, the Space Needle or Tower of Americas. And standing 750 feet tall, the Tower of Americas is the tallest freestanding building in the United States.
That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I would have for sure said the Space Needle.
Yeah. So it's 67 feet taller than the Washington Monument, 87 feet taller than the Seattle Space Needle.
Wow.
I know. So now I do think we need to go see it.
Yeah.
We're looking at it right outside our window, and we had thought, oh, maybe we will.
We'll do it. Yeah, maybe we won't.
Yeah. So anyways, yesterday we went to the Alamo.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
I don't even really know what it is, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
I remember in school we talked about the Alamo.
Well, okay. It is San Antonio, maybe even Texas. Probably most famous attraction, I would say.
Okay, but nobody talks about it like it's the coolest thing ever.
Well, it's probably the most visited attraction.
Okay. Yeah, everyone just keeps saying you have to go see it, just so you can say you saw it. And we saw it.
We saw it.
It was cool, but I just was like, okay. Not really sure what's going on.
Let me just give you a few interesting facts about the Alamo, since I think we kind of ran through it yesterday. Between 400 and 600 Mexican soldiers were killed in the battle. Estimates on the number of Texans killed vary from 182 to 257. Not everyone in the fort was killed. Most of the survivors were women, children, servants, and slaves. The Alamo was used by Confederate forces during the Civil War. And then during the 1870s, the Alamo was used as a warehouse. And then today, the Alamo is popular. It has become a popular tourist destination with over 2.5 million people visiting the site every year.
Yeah, so basically it's like this big fort that has a wall around it, and it's where the Texans were barricaded inside during this battle.
Right.
That's all you needed to know about it.
Yeah, so we went and saw that. What else did we do yesterday?
We did the riverwalk, which is, I would say, their main attraction.
Yeah, it's very commercialized. I
Yes.
think it's a little, I don't know. I'd say it's a little underwhelming because it is so commercialized now.
Yeah, it is it's funny because they have literally all the same restaurants as the Mall of America. So we're like walking down the street and it looks just like the third floor of Mall of America.
With a river running
With a
alongside
river
of it.
running down it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see the boats go.
It's really cool. It is cool, and it's fun to like,
Yeah.
especially coming from Minnesota where it's really cold right now and you can't really walk along a river like that in
Right.
nice weather. So it was perfect. It was
Yeah.
great, but yeah, it's not something that I would want to spend every day on, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So we checked that box. We got e-bikes.
Yep.
So those are a little bit different than the e-bikes that we rode in Phoenix. These are, what do they call them? Something assisted, power assisted bikes.
Oh.
And so I don't know, it just felt different. And then these e-bikes are similar to the, like, as far as how widely available they are. They're in
The scooters.
Yeah, they're similar to the Minneapolis scooters.
Those scooters are in every city, but yeah.
Yeah.
These bikes aren't really. They're kind of new.
Yeah, I looked it up because we want to continue to do this more often, work remotely. And there was maybe, I don't know, 25 major cities that have these specific e-bikes. I'm kind of thinking we should do either Colorado or Oregon next.
I'm up for it. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I hate biking. Like, I hate it. But these are perfect because you don't have to do anything. Well, you pedal, but like hardly. And we noticed it today. I didn't even notice yesterday.
That's the difference between these bikes. Like the ones in Phoenix, you literally don't have to.
Yeah, that's so
You don't
funny.
have to pedal at all.
That's so funny.
But these you do.
Yeah, you do
these
pedal,
are
but
just assisted.
But you're not using any leg work. You're like barely moving.
Oh, I was. You must have had yours on an easy setting. I was using leg work. Actually,
no,
going up
today we were. Today we forgot that you have to turn them on, so you went like half a mile, like actually biking, actually doing what you're supposed to do, and then we realized that you had to turn it on in order for it to work. We were like,
yeah, there's been a little bit of a learning curve with everything that we've done. I mean, even just getting into this Airbnb.
Yeah, two
my
blondes take on Texas.
Yeah, carrying huge suitcases
Oh,
up
yeah.
4 flights of stairs. Oh my god!
My mom
Only
was
to
like,
find an elevator.
There's got to be an elevator. I'm like, no, obviously there's not. There's not one labeled anywhere. Let's just go.
Yeah, and then we thought it was a complete coincidence that the key code on the front door was my phone number, the last 4 digits of my phone number. And I'm like, oh wait, maybe not. Maybe they.
It didn't even register. We put it in like twice, and the second time we were like,
That's my
wow,
phone number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But then right outside our door, I mean, maybe a couple blocks down, is where the e-bikes are. So it's just so dang convenient.
Yeah.
And then you can get on this super long trail. I should know the name of the trail, but there's
Mission.
Oh, the Mission Trail. It's huge. It goes all the way to the Alamo and beyond. You can go to the Tower of Americas. You can do Pearl Market. I know you can go quite far on this trail. So
Yeah.
we'll probably do more of that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today we took the bikes out. Or at least we bought a month pass, so we've got to get our money's worth.
Yeah. It was cheaper to do the month than or you paid by the minute. Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But.
So, anyways, the importance of taking breaks is not lost on us. We have been working so incredibly hard.
Yeah.
That personally, I just felt like I needed to kind of get away and really recharge. And so the criteria was somewhere warm, somewhere that there would be enough to do. Otherwise, I know myself and I would sit here and work. And so getting out and sightseeing. Personally, I really like places that have walking paths, bike paths.
Paths?
Paths. How do you say it?
Paths.
Paths. That's what I just said.
No,
oh my gosh.
Well,
and we've also started watching Ted Lasso. One of my
it's really good.
One of my
Tina.
dearest friends said, I cannot believe you have not seen Ted Lasso. And it's on Apple TV, and we don't have Apple TV at home.
Yeah.
So we came here, and I bought Apple TV so that we can watch it. So we've already gotten through one season.
Yeah, we just started season 2.
And it's amazing. And it totally reminded me of Ted Lasso, you making fun of the way I say paths.
That's just not right. Yeah, it's up there with one of the top shows for me right now.
Yeah, so good.
It is really good. I feel like I remember people talking about it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of all the rage, but we just never
because it was on Apple TV.
Yeah. So definitely, if you have Apple TV and you haven't watched Ted Lasso, go.
Oh, last night we have to give a shout out to Johnny.
I think that was his name.
It was Johnny.
What's and the place Hunter. Called?
So my nephew.
What's the place called?
The place was called Mavericks.
Mavericks.
My nephew sent us a list of recommended restaurants. Mavericks was a French-American restaurant. So we tried that out. It was kind of the dress-up dinner for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, we actually went to an immersive museum.
Yeah.
Interactive museum called Hopscotch. That was really cool.
Yeah. It has like a bunch of different rooms that you go into, and there's different things that you can do in each room.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures because that was really neat.
Yeah.
But anyways, we go to Mavericks, and Johnny, our waiter, found out that we were from out of town and decided he bought you a birthday drink,
mm-hmm.
and then literally probably spent 20 minutes with us.
Yeah, he was awesome.
A huge list of places that we need to see that are more like, local must try.
Well, first he was like, why did you guys come to San Antonio?
He did? I didn't feel like that.
Yeah. When he asked what we were doing here, and we were like, we said birthday trip and working, and he was like, you came to San Antonio for your birthday? But then he gave us like all these amazing, like he just kept going and then wrote on the back side of the paper, like, there's all these amazing things to do. So he was kind of sending mixed signals a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was awesome. They took so much time. So
yeah, it was.
Tonight we are going to Pearl, which is kind of, it sounds like they have something for everyone.
It sounds like a big food court, but like nicer.
Yeah. Well, they had, and then he talked about those really upscale restaurants. I think those were in Pearl, where he was saying you can see the San Antonio Spurs, which I wouldn't know one if I passed one on the street, but...
What is that?
I think it's a basketball.
Players?
I think it's a basketball player, but I don't know. When he said that, I'm like, oh, uh-huh. Great.
Again, the two blondes walking through Texas. Who knows what else is passing us by?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have paid our fair share in parking. My God, I think we found every expensive parking lot in Texas.
Yeah.
Actually, besides that, that's literally the only thing I could even complain about. It has been such a good trip. Everything has been so easy. We got off the plane, got our car. Well, we flew to Austin and then drove to San Antonio. And on the way, we stopped at the barbecue restaurant that Hunter had recommended, which was fantastic. We then had a couple hours to kill before we could get into our Airbnb. So we went to this what's this little village over here called? Blue Star, where they have a lot of artisan people, artists are selling.
Yeah, it was cool. There's a little market going on
and stuff. Yeah, and we went into a thrift store. Mm-hmm. Is that what you would call that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
vintage.
And they had vintage turquoise jewelry that I got to pick up. So that was kind of exciting. So I'm wearing it. I don't think it's real, but based on the price.
If it is, you got a steal of a deal.
My friend Steph will be so impressed.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. That was what kicked off kind of the weekend, and it's just been tons of fun. We've gotten a lot of work done.
Yeah, it's been nice. I feel like we've had the perfect balance of like actually going and doing things around here, like sightseeing stuff, and then also work. And like strategy.
And we're really only halfway through.
Yeah.
Because we have,
Yeah.
well, we have another 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's exciting. We'll put all of the places that we go and our ratings on them in the show notes.
Yeah. Yep. So I think in terms of recharging, because we do want to do this more often and kind of commit to a certain cadence, what are the things that you would be looking for? What are the things that when you are engaged in, you feel like it really does recharge you?
As far as places to be,
Just anything.
or
What's the criteria for you?
I feel like new environments are always a big, that's why I go to coffee shops on Tuesdays, because I just feel like it helps me get into my work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
totally get that.
Yeah. So I feel like anywhere new is always really helpful for me when it comes to work.
Yeah. And I think specifically being here in San Antonio, I mean, this is like a cultural immersion where there is such a big Spanish flair.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I think that's really neat. Nature and outdoor activities for me, for sure. I have to have that pull. Otherwise, like I said, I will sit inside and work. So I love being able to go for walks, get on a bike, even just sit outside. It actually has been a little bit chilly. It's been like, I don't think it's gotten over 65 since we've been here.
Yeah.
And today was pretty windy. So like pools are out.
We both packed like idiots too. I don't really know what we were thinking, but
I had to go buy a sweatshirt yesterday.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
What else? What else do you think we should be looking for when making our decisions about where to go?
I feel like
when to go.
I feel like this is kind of dumb, but somewhere we can bring the wings.
Yeah,
I do catch myself thinking about them.
Oh, I'm sure. I've thought about that, but I know that would add a layer of stress.
Well, bring the weens and somebody else to watch them.
Oh my God. A nanny.
Yeah, a nanny.
A ween nanny.
Yeah, exactly. That would be helpful.
I think it is fun to go places that has good food, that's kind of known for good, like food cuisine.
Yeah.
That you for sure, San Antonio obviously is known for Tex-Mex. That is probably what I'll have tonight because we haven't had it yet.
Yeah.
One of the things that I keep hearing, I think they're called fluffy tacos or puffy tacos. It's like a hybrid of a hard shell and a soft shell. And I think it's the way that they're kind of fried. They kind of, get airy. That's what I'm going to try.
Yeah, that sounds yummy.
Yeah, I think anytime you can incorporate self-care into your recharging, into your trip, I think that's good. And then I'd say like affordable.
Yeah.
It has to be budget friendly.
Yeah.
Before we chose San Antonio, we were going to go to
Charleston. Not Charlotte.
We
had a little bit of a mishap.
Yeah, a little bit. I accidentally booked Charlotte, meaning to be in Charleston.
Yeah.
I went so far as I booked both plane tickets.
Which, they could not be more opposite. Charlotte would be a guy's trip for men that love basketball and all that kind of stuff. Charleston is a girl's trip. Charlotte is a boy's trip.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sports oriented, whereas we were looking for the shopping and all the things that we got here. Yeah, and it got late one night and I went to book and I totally messed up I think where it started was the airport codes.
Probably.
I got it messed up. And then I went so far as I bought 2 plane tickets. I rented a car and
the Airbnb.
Yeah. No, hotels.
The hotels.
And then I went to bed and realized what I had done and promptly got back out of bed and went and canceled it all. So anyways, it was actually really expensive to go to Charleston. So we'll do that another time. But I think, finding something that's affordable is going to be important, especially because we plan to do this a little bit more often.
Well, and I think work friendly. I think that they're like, when we're talking recharge, it's not like vacations. Like, I think we're thinking of it more as somewhere like new to try out and like to put ourselves in a new environment, but also work.
Yeah.
So like,
right. I mean, when I booked this Airbnb, I had to make sure that it had strong Wi-Fi. So that's obviously important.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I would say obviously stuff like that. But I also
Maybe I
think
should have made sure it had enough toilet paper.
Yeah.
We had to go to the store today to get more toilet paper.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was for anybody that has me on Instagram, you'll see that I put a video of us bike riding along the river, and I fell once because I had to hold my camera up higher because in our little basket was the toilet paper.
You didn't want it to be
and I didn't want it to be in my aesthetically pleasing video.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think that doing this maybe once a quarter, maybe a little bit more, even if we could do it every, I don't know, 2 months versus every 3 months would be really awesome. I think that's kind of the stretch goal. And then once a quarter is probably minimally.
Yeah, I feel like we're very lucky to be in the position that we're in where we can move around and work from wherever. So it's like, why would we not take advantage of that if we have the opportunity to? And like you were talking about my cousin, your nephew, Hunter, he very much makes that a priority of his to kind of bounce around because he can with work. He can work from pretty much anywhere. And he just lives the life. Like, he sees all the places. He kind of knows everywhere to go. And he just works out of all of these new environments. And it's like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity.
Make the most of your situation. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that. If you're single and you really love traveling, travel now, because the minute you start
single, why can't you travel if you're in a relationship?
Well, you can, but then you have two people that need to kind of agree, and
or you can go without them.
Correct, but I'm just saying that, I don't know. I was just reading an article about your generation and how over the holidays it's more of the norm to travel and not necessarily be home over the holidays because
really
because I can't remember where I was reading this, but they were saying, single people, maybe like recent graduates, or I don't know, there's probably a lot of demographics that can relate to this, but sometimes going home for the holidays, it can be very, very stressful. And instead of, exposing yourself to the stress, it's a time that you could actually use to travel. And so there's more young people doing that nowadays. And I was like,
I feel like it's not my age. I feel like most people like my age are definitely mooching off of their parents during the holidays right now.
Well, my kids
as they should. As they should.
Yeah. I don't know. Bottom line, I think you do you, make the most of, what it is that you enjoy. And I think just being mindful, like really asking yourself, what is it that I want? Why do I want it? It goes right back to our way of making decisions, the framework that we teach. What is it that you want? Why do you want it? What's going to get in your way of achieving that? And being really mindful, being very intentional is like the best way to live. And that's exactly what we're doing. And hopefully we've inspired other people to kind of think about what it means to recharge, what it means to work hard, play hard, and really recharge your battery. Like there is that space in between the working hard and playing hard. It does look like recharging. And asking yourself, what does that mean to you? And how can you do that? It doesn't have to be in the way that we've just done it and that we intend to continue to do, but making that decision and really taking care of yourself by doing it in whatever way serves you, I think is something that we would love for you to take away from this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you don't have to go far either. It doesn't have to be some extravagant,
right.
Like,
I mean, you go to coffee shops and
yeah, exactly.
kind of get the same.
Exactly. But you could also probably find something like in Minnesota, you can travel a couple hours up north to some hotel even, just get out of your environment and into something new. Like just taking a weekend even to take care of yourself and recharge, I think is always important. And I feel like it's something that you kind of either you put off or you like forget about it or don't make time for it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're so immersed into your work. Like on the weekends, like we're still working. It's not like our weekends aren't consumed with work too. So I think it's just important to check in with yourself, understand that you do need to make time to recharge and do fun things for yourself.
Yep. And, loosely set some boundaries. Like we haven't really been doing a lot of, I actually cleared my calendar of all coaching. I am working, but we decided ahead of time what was the project that we were going to work on. I haven't really been tethered to my computer or my phone or anything like that, which really makes it feel like, a vacation. Yeah, I don't know. We're checking in at home. We do that once a day and get the update on the weens.
Yeah.
It's snowing back home. So, yeah. So we could just kind of
a good time to leave.
We kind of manage expectations. I guess that would be another tip that I would offer people is, due diligence on the front end by managing expectations so that you aren't, feeling guilty or worrying, right? Like you manage the expectations that kind of this is what your intentions are. And you don't have to spend time worrying about what other people are thinking or people pleasing or any of that kind of stuff. You can keep reminding yourself that this is something that you've prioritized for yourself with intention so that you come back better, stronger, ready to 10x the next year.
Yeah. And Dad, we love and appreciate you for being the wee nanny.
Yes. And we will give you an application if you would like to apply for that position going forward.
If you'd like to come on these trips, you'll still be the wee nanny.
Is it the wing daddy or wing nanny?
Ew, no, nanny.
I'm sure he'll love that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything else that we should?
I think we covered it.
I do have to say, I feel just a little bit at home here. This is only, I don't know, a half a state away from where I went to college. So
yeah.
I went to college in Lawton, Oklahoma, and I don't think I've been back to Lawton, Oklahoma since 1994. And I always say, if I'm in the area, I'm going to stop, and I never do. And I guess that's not true. I have been back one time for a funeral, sadly. But
jeez.
I know. Yeah, now that I think about that. But I would love to go back and just kind of visit under better circumstances. And I feel like, I'm kind of close. Why didn't I? But it would have been a little out of the way considering we flew into Austin.
Yeah.
Maybe Lawton will have to get on the list.
On one.
No,
yeah.
It's not that great. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that was it. All right, ready to go have our Tex-Mex.
Yeah, and let us know where you guys decide to, where and how you decide to recharge. We'll see you
Yes.
next week.